So what do you need to do to get noticed as a junior lawyer? How do you add value? How do you get picked? I've been around the law profession now for 15 plus years. I've been in professional services for over 20 years. And you speak to any partner in a professional services firm and they can always say, oh, I can spot the future partners from the day they walk into our firm. So what is it that those people do? What are they doing to get noticed? And I think the first thing to recognize as a junior lawyer, you're new into the profession, you're bright, you're able, you're keen, you spent time doing your degree, you've spent time at law school, well, most of us, unless you do the IELTS route, time at law school, you're ready, you're ambitious, you want to make an impact from day one. So very often you wanted to get into really complex, the really detailed law stuff. So hang on a minute. You need to be realistic. One of the big things that I can recommend to you if you want to get noticed is you don't need, take away that belief that you need to do everything and be involved in everything from day one. You've got to realize you are on a career path. You are on a journey. It takes time to get to the next step. It takes time to learn the technical and commercial elements of the role. So let's break this down into the areas that you need to think about. So sounds strange, but do the simple stuff really well matters. What do I mean by that? No typos. Do what you say you're going to do. So if you're going to get something back to somebody at some time, say it. If you don't have capacity to do it, say it. Turn up to meetings on time. A great tip is on time for you 5 minutes early, particularly with virtual meetings, because you never know when your tech's going to go, no, you can't get in there. Be organized, plan your time. And also, but give to the simple tasks 100% rather than being impatient to get onto the more complex tasks. For example, if you've been given the photocopying, realize that this is valuable and needs to be done rather than, why me? But also, you'll be given a budget of time to do a piece of work. Don't blow that budget for the work you're going to do just to get it absolutely perfect. It's better to check in real regularly and go, am I on the right line? This is what I'm looking at. This is the time I've used. So you can correct before then. So first thing is, do the simple stuff really well. The second thing is, be curious and add questions. Now, what do I mean about being curious to add questions? The lawyers that get really noticed are not that just go, head down, this is the work I've got to do, but really are curious about the matter as a whole, not just their part of it. They're curious about the client, what makes the individual they're working with tick, what makes the organization tick, what are they trying to do, what are the organization trying to do, how does this piece of work fit in there? Being known as really commercially astute and aware will make your career go really fast and far. But also be curious about, you'll be working with a senior lawyer. So what prompted them to take the decisions they took? Why are they doing this course of action? Be curious, say, I really want to learn, what prompted this? What happened there? And the more you can be a sponge, the more you'll get noticed. So we talked about do the simple stuff well. We talked about be curious and ask questions, but also it's a really simple game, but easy to be worked with. The juniors that huff and puff about being given loads of proofreading to do, loads of drafting to do that's boring, are the ones that are going to get noticed for the wrong reason. So you want to have a smile and a positive attitude, even if you're just thinking, if I do this well, it's going to speed up my career, so I don't need to do it again. Have a positive attitude, reframe the boring stuff. The grind is part of being a junior lawyer. The next thing is be you. The more authentic you are, the easier you are to work with, the more likable you are. A lot of people think, right, I'm in law, I must be a professional, so I can't bring my emotions to work, so I have to be rational all the time. You know what? That's hiding behind a facade. People want to work with the real you. Next thing is you're going to get lots of feedback as a junior lawyer, and sometimes it's going to be hard to hear. So treat that feedback as a gift. Always, whatever reaction, even if that's not fair, the answer is thank you very much for that. I need to reflect on that. Also, don't think anything is beneath you. It doesn't matter if you were top of your year at school, top of your year at law school. We all have to muck in and do some of the simple stuff. Even if the simple stuff means going and getting the senior partner some lunch. Just do it, be prepared and willing to muck in. But also, Most of us, when we're early in our career, we're younger, we've got loads of energy, we've got enthusiasm, so bring it to the job. You know, this sort of stuff we're going to get you noticed. If you have that hangdog expression, if you have that I don't want to be here, you're going to get noticed for the wrong reason. Now, have a fresh perspective. You know, you're young. Well, I'm assuming you're young rather than a late career changer, but you know, you've been using many bits of cloud-based digital technology since you were, you know, young. You know, I think about my now almost 16-year-old. At the age of 18 months, she reset the password on my iPod. Wasn't helpful, but you know, she's been using these digital tools since she was incredibly young. So you don't have the same amount of baggage as many of the senior lawyers have. You've got far more of this digital native aspect. So, of course, respect why certain decisions have been done a certain way, and always ask, you know, what's prompted us to do it this way? But also, okay, is it appropriate if I share an idea? Could we do this better if? Be prepared to respectfully bring your ideas to the table. Now, you might be thinking being a great lawyer is about deepening your technical skill set. And of course, it might feel this way now. And yes, you've got a long journey to build those deep technical legal skills, but actually it's your non-legal skills that will make or break your career progression. So take every opportunity to improve your non-legal skills. And that means actually paying for some of your own development. The more you put aside some money for paying your own development, the more control you are of your career. So think about how can you improve your interpersonal skills? So persuasion, negotiation, communication, written and verbal. You know, watch how the great lawyers do it. Business development, handling a client, teamwork, problem solving, these commercial acumen, these are the skills that will really move you forward quickly. These are the skills that if you can demonstrate the earlier on in your career that are more likely to help you accelerate and get noticed. Get an influential mentor, you know, having the backing of somebody more senior to you. Now, if you're very junior, such as a trainee, such as a newly qualified, you may not get the partner you want, but how about ask a senior associate that you really respect, or a legal director that you really respect and you want to learn from, to be your mentor, and actually fix time to see them, you know, once a quarter, that you actually spend some focused time with them. Now, this is something that I see a lot. Not just junior lawyers, but, you know, bright, able youngsters into the professions, that you want to show that you're capable. You want to show that you can get on and do it. You don't want to show a sign of weakness, but actually it's really important to be honest if you don't understand what you're being asked to do. You know, speak up, ask for a more detailed brief, ask for some questions. Don't just kind of take stuff being dumped on you, because trying to figure it out later normally leads to you blowing the budget or going wrong. You know, the more honest you could be and go, hang on a minute, this might be a stupid question, I probably should know this, but can you, you know, it's going to help you make sure you get the right direction at the right time. And it's going to help you be seen as somebody that's easy to work with, rather than somebody that under-delivers or blows the budget because of a mistaken belief that you've got to be shown as capable and that you can handle everything. You know, people know that you're a junior lawyer. They know you've still got to learn. And then finally, my last tip is to get the most out of your supervisor. You know, your supervisor is there to help you improve not just your legal skills, but how you are as a lawyer genuinely. So, you know, treat them as a source of help, not as an authority figure to be scared of. Treat them as a sort of source of help. You know, ask for time with them. Make sure that you're not the last on their to-do list, and use them in your quest to be relentless in your desire to improve your skill set. So let me just recap. You know, and the big message is you're not the finished article. So don't expect to be doing the complex legal stuff now. You've got to earn the right to do that. So to get noticed as a junior lawyer, to be seen as valuable, means doing the simple stuff really well. Be curious and ask questions. Be easy to work with. Have a fresh perspective. Take every opportunity you can to improve your non-legal skills. Get an influential mentor. Be honest if you don't understand what you're being asked to do, and get the most out of your supervisor.